What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing today? Hello, tribe. Hello, tribe. Hello, tribe. How you guys doing today? Okay, let me share this video. Let everybody know we are live. That we are live. Live. Okay. Okay. What up, Star? Hey, boo. Watermelon Sugar, Quintessential, Brandon, Alikala. What's up, Raphael? How you doing? Hey, Vixen, Abby. Hey, boo. Lock Queen, Below. Hey, Cams. I haven't seen you in a long time. How you doing, boo? Nicole Stevens. I think, Cams, I don't know if I've seen you in my chat before, but I've seen you in other chats before. And I don't think I've seen you in a while. Well, hello. What's up, little baby? AJ the Curator. I know that's right, the AJ the Curator. Okay. So how's everybody doing, you guys? How are you guys doing? How's y'all said y'all are doing fine. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into this on this wonderful Tuesday afternoon, child. It's beautiful weather. I got my window open, some fresh air going through. I love this kind of weather. I love the kind of weather where I don't have to have the air conditioning on and I don't have to have the heat on. I can just open up the windows and let the air come through. I love this kind of weather. Anyway, you in the bushes most of the time. You be around. Okay, it's cool. I'm glad you're here. And thanks for saying hi. Thanks for dropping down and saying hi today. Yeah, I need to get back to doing my makeup. I don't think I put makeup on my face since I did the interview with Buffy. And that was beginning of February, I think. I need to start doing makeup again. I took my makeup to Atlanta and never once did makeup. Never once put makeup on my face. Abby did my face one night while we were there, but I never did. I want to get this new foundation. I'm gonna go to Ulta this weekend, and because y'all know I need some new foundation, and I think that's sort of what slowed me down was that the foundation wasn't working, and y'all know I don't like looking like cremation number 9, and so the foundation wasn't working for me, and I think that sort of got me out of my zhuzh. But I'm gonna go try to get this KVD, the vegan thing that everybody buying up. Now, I'll be honest, a few of the people that I have seen buy it, the color doesn't seem to match exactly. Seems to be a little off. So I am gonna but I'm gonna go this weekend and get me some. You're going to Ulta tomorrow. You excited they are having a sale? Oh, Ulta's having a sale. Is it gonna last to the weekend? Because I ain't going tomorrow, but I could go the weekend. Hey, Gigi Jones. If they still having that sale this weekend, I'll be there, but I can't go tomorrow, honey, because payday is what? Friday. So I won't be in nobody's Ulta doing nothing until when? Friday. Well, Saturday. I'm gonna go this weekend. But anyway, I'm gonna check it out. And if they don't have it there, which I know it's been sold out, I'm gonna just get another Juvia's Place. Because I really like the Juvia's Place. I just think that over the winter my complexion changed and it just doesn't match anymore. Plus it's almost empty anyway, so it's all good. Anyway, we got a couple of updates on some of the stories we talked about yesterday. So let me give y'all a couple of updates before we jump into what we got to talk about today, Chad. So first of all, the Scripper then came forward and said, hey, Yana, hey, boo. The Scripper then came forward and said, I never said that Usher didn't throw no real money. All I said was that he threw the fake money. Here's my problem, though. We don't know what the real money, fake money ratio was. You see what I'm saying? So, okay, that's great that he was throwing real ones along with the little fake Usher ones. The problem is we don't know what the ratio is. So it could have been a 10-to-1 ratio, 10 Usher bucks for 1 George Washington. We don't know. We don't know what we don't know. And until I know what that ratio is, the fact that you had the audacity to take your black ass up in that script club with some fake money and throw it up in the air and make it rain like it wasn't a problem. I could listen. There are so many scenarios where I would give Usher a pass. I could see if it was his birthday party. Okay. I could see if he had rented out the club and this was an album release situation and the money was connected to the album and it was a whole concept thing working. There are so many passes. Okay. There are so many passes I could have gave you, Usher. But on a regular old Wednesday night, you and the boys decided to hit the script club. You had the presence of mind to not only go past the bank and pick up some bands, you had the presence of mind to get some fake dollars made with your face on it. And then had the audacity to throw it in the air. See, here's the problem. The problem isn't the ratio. The problem isn't that, it's the ratio. Danny, you are on my list. I need to call you. I need to call and check on you. I know by now you know, and you know what I'm saying to you. So I need you to be very mindful. I need you to be monitoring everything up there. And I meant to call you today. You were absolutely on my list. You were one of the first people I thought about this morning when I got the news. So you are on my list, ma'am. Child, now he calls a dust storm. He made a drizzle with the family. Her behind let this story run all day. The other people coming out the woodworks with their Usher grifting stories. Oh, Lord. See, I'm telling y'all, all it takes is for one person to say something and the dam will break. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Lies by omission. He still threw the fake money. Child. Right. Exactly. Watermelon sugar. Damn the ratio. Who gets fake money made for no reason? Again, if this was connected to an album and it was like an album release party situation, if this was a stunt, if it was a stunt, then you should have come out by now and said it was a stunt because you really getting drugged, Usher. But if it's so many different things that I could give you a pass on, Usher. So many. But this ain't one of them. Okay, well, just keep an eye on it, Daddy. Just keep an eye on it. Hey, Tally, how you doing? Just wanted to send some positivity your way. That is for the videos. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What's for the videos? Oh, the positive love. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. The positive vibes. I appreciate the positive vibes. I appreciate the positive vibes. All right. Hey, Xavier. Hey, boo. So there was info released that the Bucks were allegedly a promo for a Vegas residency. Okay. I'm going to give you the Vegas residency because I think he is supposed to be doing. Oh, okay. No problem. Because I think I did hear that he was doing a Vegas residency. I'm going to give you that, Usher. But here's the problem. You let it go too far. Like, there should have been some hype around it. There should have been. What it sounds like to me is that it was a poorly orchestrated PR stunt. Because what you should have done, see, if I'm your PR person, if I'm the PR person, then what I'm doing is everybody going to have Usher bucks for the night. But you got to exchange the real dollars for the Usher dollars. You understand what I'm saying? There's still going to be a way that everybody gets compensated for what it is that they're doing. So there's a way that you do that, but that sound right, because it just sounded crazy to me that Usher just come out of the clear blue out of left field with Usher dollars. Like, that don't even make no damn sense. But it makes sense that it's connected to something. And the Vegas residency, that could have been cute. That could have been real cute. That could have been a real cute vibe. It just sounded like it was very poorly executed. Yeah, exactly. No announcements, no nothing. Because I'm going to tell you, if it's me, if it's my client, when you coming in the club, everybody is getting Usher bucks. Everybody going to get the Usher bucks, but you got to exchange the Usher bucks for the real dollars so that we're not shortchanging the girls. Right? You still got to make sure that the girls are going to get their money. Because, see, y'all know, like I know, some people are going to be like, oh, fake money? and I can still get my whatever I need to get for the night, and I can use this old fake money. You get 100 Usher bucks for $100. Like you still gotta compensate it. You still gotta find a way to make sure, and then you let people know that's what's going on. Let people know it's a promo, or better yet, this is what I would have done, because Usher got some money and he could have done all of this. But there go Belize cutting up. Belize done walked in the door cutting up, y'all. Hey, boo. This is what he could have done. This is a better idea. Scratch that first thing I just said. This is a better idea. Okay? Let everybody come in the club business as usual. Still get them the Usher dollars and let them do whatever they're going to do with the Usher dollars. They can buy drinks at the bar with the Usher dollars. They can make it rain with the Usher dollars. And at the end of the night, let the ladies trade them Usher dollars in for the real money. So that way you ain't even got to put nobody on the spot. You ain't got to embarrass nobody. You ain't got to say, okay, you exchanging. No. Your PR team just leave $50,000 at the door. And you give out $50,000 worth of Usher bucks. And however it exchanged out, it just exchanged out. Does that make sense what I'm saying? In my mind, it makes sense. Does that make sense what I'm saying to y'all? So at the end of the night, if the ladies got 500 Usher dollars, they got to take it to the cashier. The cashier cashes them out. Here go your 500 Usher dollars. Here go your 500 US dollars. It was all a promo. Everybody is good. You see what I'm saying? I know that's right, Tally. I just take the Usher stimulus. Can I get an Usher stimulus? But anyway, either way, if it was a promo, it was poorly executed and it did not help. And guess what? You know what everybody's talking about? Everybody is talking about Usher giving away fake money. No one's talking about a residency, which means that you failed. If the purpose of this was to bring attention to, you failed. You failed. And I hate that you failed, but you failed. Hey, KK, what's up? It makes sense. It's like how to take it. Right, exactly, Xavier. And that's what I would have done. I would have just said, okay, we're going to print up 50,000 Usher bucks. And, that's what we rocking with for the night. We giving them out as a promo. And see, on the bucks, it should have said what the promo was. It should have said Vegas residency coming soon. Like, all your information should have been on the buck. And then that way, there would have been no guessing games. None whatsoever. No guessing games. But whatever. PR stunt, epic fail. You know what, Belize? I'm not doing it. I ain't doing it. I love Belize. Y'all just don't know how much I love that woman. Child. Exactly, Cams. Whoever came up with that promo, y'all, whoever came with that promo need to be fired. Okay, so y'all know I like my Crystal Light packets in my water, right? So I got this new flavor. Y'all know I had this flavor right here. This is my favorite flavor. This is my absolute favorite flavor. These are the drops. It's the blueberry raspberry. And remember, I told y'all it tastes just like Kool-Aid. It takes me back to my childhood because it tastes just like Kool-Aid, right? Remember, I told y'all that? So today I used a new packet. It's grape. Y'all, damn if this shit don't taste just like grape Kool-Aid. I don't know who did these flavor packets for Crystal Light, but it must have been the Kool-Aid man. I bet you they owned by the same company because I tell you it tastes just like Kool-Aid. It tastes just like Kool-Aid. Hey, Jonathan. What's up, boo? Hey, Quintessential. Welcome back. Okay, so that's the first update I had to give y'all. I had to go on and give y'all the update on that because I really didn't have to, I guess, because I don't really think we gave a damn that much, but I just thought I would. You have the liquid 1V hydration, acai berry. That's the name too long, Quintessential. The name too long. Hey, Coretta B. Jefferson, what's up? It is good to see you as well, ma'am. Not Flavor Aid, Kool-Aid. Not the Flavor Aid, the Kool-Aid. Anyway. All right, so let's do a couple of serious updates and then we'll move into update number 1 on Y'all probably know this information already, but I want to share this information. The lieutenant down in Virginia that got stopped, who was suing the Virginia police force, we found out that we found out yesterday that the officer had been killed. God, oh Jesus, that's not what I meant. He quit. He got fired. Oh Jesus, where I get that from? I did not mean wish death on that man. I'm sorry, that ain't what I meant. He got fired. But come to find out, and I know y'all told me this yesterday, but I got to share this for the people. So the traffic stop was because he had paper tags in the window, and they couldn't see the paper tags at first. But of course, by the time they pulled him over and acted a jackass, they knew that the paper tags was there. Let me share something with y'all. Because I was looking at Morning Joe this morning, and they were saying the same thing on Morning Joe. Like, in a time period where the DMVs are absolutely closed, okay? This is coming from somebody who bought a car in October. Ask me when I got my hard tag. Well, my registration, because I was able to keep my tags. Ask me when I got my registration for my car that I bought in October. The car that I bought in October. I need y'all to hear me. I bought the car in October. Ask me when I got my registration. I've been riding on paper tags since October. Yesterday. Why? Because the DMV been on the bullshit. It's been some paperwork issues. It's been a long journey that I listen, we'd be here for a while if I had to go into all of the different ins and outs. But the reality is it was some bull hockey with the DMV. They sent my paperwork back. Then the dealership had to resubmit the paperwork. But it doesn't matter. Under normal circumstances, first of all, the mistake would have never been made under normal circumstances. Second of all, the mistake was made. It would have been resolved with one phone call under normal circumstances. But our DMV is still working from home. And they are limited in what they can do from their home computer. They're still only going in the office and taking appointments certain days and times. Do you know how long it takes to get an appointment to go to the DMV right now? I can't speak for y'all's area, but up here, it takes weeks. So for the police officer to pull that man over and to assume bad intentions because he had some paper tags, is bullshit. Bullshit. My sister bought a car last February, right before the pandemic. Now, in my sister's case, she had a situation. She had to take care of some tickets. And, but even with that, she still had to make an appointment to go to the DMV because they wouldn't let her pay it over the phone. Why wouldn't they let her pay it over the phone? Because the system wasn't set up for them to do online payments from your home computer. Listen, it's DC's DMV. Don't ask me no more questions. All I know is she had to make an appointment. She had to go in, pay the tickets, and then take that, and then let them send that paperwork back to the dealership saying she good to go. Here's her stuff. My sister bought her car in February. She did not get her tags until August. Now, granted, like I said, in her situation, it was a little bit her fault. But again, under normal circumstances, she could have walked down to the DMV, paid the stuff, and immediately cleared it up within a couple of days. She literally had to wait weeks because at first the DMV wasn't open. Let's remember, this was the beginning of the pandemic. So the DMV won't even open at first. And then once they opened up, it was appointment only, and she had to get an appointment. Exactly, Cams. Exactly. And I'm like, y'all act like y'all don't want my money. Because my situation was that they had it that I had an insurance lap in the system, which wasn't accurate. And I had sent the paperwork over, but that was from 2019. So again, my situation was something that happened. I thought we had resolved it in 2019. I didn't know until like a month ago when they finally sent the letter back to the dealership saying, Oh no, she's got a situation with she got to clear with DC. She had an insurance lapse in 2019. I said, but I renewed my tags in 2020. I had just renewed my tags in August before I got into my car accident. So I literally just renewed my tags. How did y'all let me renew my tags if I had a problem with my nigga? What? But again, that's DC. People who live in DC understand when I say that's DC. But yeah, so you pulled this man over, assuming bad intentions on something that is a nationwide issue. You had absolutely every intention of harassing that man. There was no good intentions in anything you did. And then he pissed you off because he didn't pull over on some old dark wood, no lit, a 2-lane highway. He waited till he turned on his hazard lights. He took the next exit and he went to a gas station and he pulled over, and then he said, "What's the problem, officers?" He never got smart with you. He never raised his voice with you. He didn't have no kind of attitude with you. That's what you was pissed off about. My DMV only takes appointments now. It's from Monday through Friday. Online payments can be done with certain things if you don't want to make an appointment. Yeah, see, DC is the same way. Certain things you can do online, but there's certain things you can't. And so, like, just telling my sister's business, I'm sorry. So in DC, you got 30 days to pay a ticket. Once the ticket doubles, you can pay it online. But in my sister's case, she had a few tickets. And she was trying to make payment arrangements. She was trying to set up a payment arrangement so she could pay her tickets. Because like DC tickets are like $100 and then they be doubling to $200. So if you get 3 tickets that you didn't pay or you paid late, you got $600 worth of tickets sitting there. So she was like, yeah, so this is what we about to do. But of course, by the time she got her appointment, she went in and just paid the damn thing. By the time she got her appointment, she didn't need a payment arrangement. She was like, here. Really, that reminds me when my mother got a ticket in downtown in 1997 and they tried to say she didn't pay in 2007. Listen, I wish they would have came at me for a ticket from 1997. Child, we're in a whole nother decade. Are you crazy? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord, y'all are funny. Lord have mercy. Anyway, so yeah, I just thought I would add that little bit of 2 cents because I know that y'all know that, and we talked a little bit about that yesterday, but I just thought I would add that. Also, we had a really good conversation over on El Teddy's channel yesterday about what's going on in police brutality and police reform and things of that nature. Oh yeah, DC don't play. Yes. And listen, Lauren, here's what make it even worse. It's the cameras. So if you get a speeding ticket, you can go to court, you can appeal it, and usually they'll reduce it for points and all of that. But in DC, if it's a camera ticket, there really isn't. You can't appeal that. I mean, I think now they'll let you try, but at first they was like, nah, we got it on camera. It's on camera. What you appealing? It's on camera. But here's where they get over in DC. They don't give you no points on your license. So the idea is maybe it might be a bogus ticket, but you'll just go ahead and pay it because you're not going to get no points on your license. That's kind of how they get over. But yeah, they don't play. They be $100 tickets. And they double. Listen, I remember DC had put a camera up. And the problem is they mail them, right? So if you don't know they put a camera somewhere and you didn't see it, and if that's a street you go down 3 or 4 times, you might get 4 or 5 tickets before you realize where the ticket came from because they're coming in the mail. So that's how they got me one time. One year, y'all, I ain't gonna lie, I had like $700 in tickets because I had gotten like 3 or 4 tickets on the same street in the same place. Because I didn't know they had put a camera there. Like, they put the cameras up and you don't see them at first. And it's until you know where the camera is. I didn't know they had put a camera on that street. Y'all, they got me like 3, 4 times before I caught that camera. I said, son of a bitch. Let me tell you something. DC last year, I don't want to exaggerate, so I'm just gonna make up a number. So I'm telling you this is a fake number, but I want you to understand what I'm saying. DC, shut up, Abby. DC last year, not last year because of COVID, but the last 4 year we had before COVID, DC collected something like $28 million in just tickets. DC better not, listen, them kids better not never need a book in DC. There better not never be no pothole in DC. There better not never be no street light out in DC, which of course, all of the above happens. But they should never have no shortfall or nothing. With all the money between that and the lottery, the DC lottery, I don't understand how DC got any money issues, but they do. Oh, well, thank you, Tally. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, thank you for the Cash App. I appreciate you. Yeah, my volume is down, so I didn't hear it go off. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. No, that's a blessing. I'll take that. Thank you. See, I'm gonna put that towards my foundation I'm buying this weekend. That's my blessing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. DC took all the church's money on 295. Well, you remember they got sued for that. Yeah, they had them fake work zones so they could hey Leo, I haven't seen you in a while either. Where all my people coming from? It's springtime, y'all coming out. Hey Leo, how you doing? Yeah, they got sued for that. DC had these fake work zones because, you know, in the work zone, you can double the fine. And a couple ended up suing them. I believe, because I want to say it was a couple and then their neighbors, and they started comparing notes and realized that it was some bogus, some foolala, and they ended up suing. They ended up suing them. Yeah, DC got caught up on that one. All right, so let's roll on up here to Minnesota. So it looks like the lady done quit. I just don't give a fuck. Hey, Tabitha. Tabitha had a good live earlier today, y'all. I was listening to Miss Tabitha. Yeah, I don't care about her quitting. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. It don't change nothing. She still need to be. Matter of fact, that should make it easier for them to charge her with murder. That's how I feel about it. You don't even have the protection of the police force no more because you're no longer a part of the police force. So it seemed to me like it'll be easier for them to sue your ass and for them to arrest you for murder. That's how I feel about it personally. Hey P, what's up, boo? They pulled the boy over. The young man I don't want to sound disrespectful. They pulled the young man over, from my understanding, for having an air freshener hanging from his rearview mirror. An air freshener? Okay. That's what we doing now? We don't have nothing better to do. Ain't nobody committing a crime no damn where. Nothing's happening nowhere in this town where y'all got time to pull this boy over because he got an air freshener hanging from his rearview mirror. That's what we're doing. That's what's important to y'all. Yeah, and then, the young man, Dante's aunt, came out and said that George Floyd's girlfriend was Dante's teacher. Because remember, this place, Brookline, this is only about 20 miles away from, it's a suburb of Minneapolis. So it's right there. And you know, y'all know how we are, 6 degrees of separation. And then today in the George Floyd trial, now I told y'all last week, don't get excited that the prosecution put on a good case, but do not get excited because the defense has not done anything yet. The defense has not spoken. Brookline Center, thank you, Cams. That the defense hasn't spoken, and we know that the defense is going to come out and they're going to come up with everything to justify and defend. Okay, so the first thing they did was They wanted to start getting people kicked off the jury who have connections to Brookline. Then they wanted the jury to get sequestered because they didn't want them to be unduly influenced. Child. Then I'm sorry. I don't like saying his name, Tabitha, but George Floyd is not on trial. But I don't like saying that man's name. I just don't want to give him no shine. But the trial of the murder of George Floyd. Let me say it that way. That's better. Then they had an expert. I will put that in quotation, air quotations. The expert testified that what this murderer did was perfectly legal and within guidelines. Now, never mind that we didn't have 4-5 people testify that wasn't part of the training. None of that. Yes, D, we good, boo. We good for tomorrow. Right? Never mind any of that testimony. So that's why I told y'all, don't get too excited. The prosecution put on a good case, but okay, well, you could say his name on your channel. Over here, he's a murderer. That is it. That is all. It is El Teddy, y'all. Don't worry about it. And the reality of the situation is it is a misdemeanor in a lot of places. It's nothing. It's not that serious. It's not a big deal. And as far as the air freshener situation, I remember a friend of mine, his mom used to have a collection of them tree air fresheners, and she had 20 of them off of her rearview mirror. Okay, the police told her to take that shit down. That's different. You got 20 damn air fresheners hanging from your rearview mirror. That's a problem. And the police did tell her, take that shit down. But again, I still don't believe it was. It won't. And here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. I don't care that he got in his car and he tried to drive off. I don't care that he had a warrant for his arrest. Because here's the reality. I saw one of the signs today. I saw this on social media. It said that people who are guilty shouldn't be murdered either. Even if that young man had a warrant out for his arrest that was a valid warrant and all of the above, the fact that he still was not arrested and just taken to jail, the fact that he still that the punishment for that was his life, that is the problem that I don't think people are understanding. That is the problem. That is the problem. Xavier, it could block your vision if you have too many air fresheners or those big air fresheners or whatever. And so a lot of places it is it's nothing. If you get stopped and you got too many air fresheners, they can say something. Again, it's one of those things where it's a law that's on the books, but again, who really got time to be pulling people over because of their air fresheners? Exactly, Cams. Exactly. The cop who shot Dante Wright was president of the police union. They won't let anything happen to her. Trust me. Well, listen, it is what it is. Like I said, we'll see. We will see what happens. We know that there is, we know the blue wall is there. We know the blue wall exists. So we'll see. We will see. And that is why I'm not impressed that she quit. I don't give a fuck. I don't care that she quit. You think I'm impressed? You think I care? Impress me. Convict her of murder. That will impress me. Not arrest her, not put her on trial. Convict her of murder. That is what will impress me. Of course he did, El Teddy. Of course he did. Cops are not judge, jury, executioners. Their job is to detain and de-escalate. Exactly. I know the law is they obstruct your view, but really nothing more pressing. Right, exactly. That's really all it is. And again, I'm sure that the law was written for the major, like the big ones that can obstruct their view, or maybe the law was written just so they would have an excuse to pull people over. Shit, I don't know. But the reality of the situation is, you have to be pressed as hell for that to be a reason why you pull somebody over. You know. Well, I know what you meant, El Teddy. I know what you're saying. I know what you meant. Exactly, Patty Duke. Exactly. Right. Selling Lucy's ain't a death sentence. Selling bootleg CDs ain't a death sentence. Checking out a house in a house under construction while you on your morning jog shouldn't be a death sentence. Running away because you have a warrant out for child support shouldn't be a death sentence. Like, there are a whole lot of things that shouldn't be death sentences that have been death sentences for Black men. And it's just ridiculous. Exactly. Oh, Cams, you live up that way? Oh, wow. Yes. They let her quit rather than have a termination on her record. That way she can be hired again in another agency. Of course. That's why the guy down in Virginia that got fired yesterday, that's why I told y'all I wasn't impressed with the fact that they fired him. Because especially down in that area where you have those small police forces and those small towns, like, he literally can drive 10 minutes down the street and somebody's going to hire him because his buddy, he's friends with the buddy and the went to high school with, he going to hire him. So, Sonny Hoskins was talking about the air freshener on The View and the laws and how they are being questioned because they are used to profile people of color. Yeah, and that's why I caught myself when I said that they might have passed it, but then I caught myself and I was like, no, it was probably a law that was passed to give them an excuse to pull people over. Like, you know, big fuzzy dice. Oh, stereotype, pull them over. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So that makes sense what Sonny was saying. You know, I like me some Sonny. So, all right. Well, let's get off of that. So, the Johnson vaccine was put on hold today. They broke in the morning Joe this morning, honey, to give y'all that bit of information because it has been linked back to blood clots. And there have been some women who have had some adverse effects. Okay. So listen. Hold on. I'm pulling up the article. The CDC and the FDA recommend U.S. pause the use of Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine over blood clot concerns. For disease control and prevention. This is from CNN.com. Are recommending that the United States pause the use. I just read that part. The 6 reported cases were among more than 6.8 million doses of the vaccine administered in the United States. I'm not a mathematician, but I'm sure that's less than 1%. All 6 cases occur among women between the ages of 18 and 48, and symptoms occurred 6 to 13 days after the vaccination, according to a joint statement. CDC will convene a meeting of the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices on Wednesday to further review these cases and assess their potential significance. The FDA will review that analysis as it also investigates these cases. Until that process is complete, we are recommending a pause in the use of the vaccine out of an abundance of caution. This is important in part to ensure that the healthcare provider and community is aware of the potential for these adverse events and can plan for proper recognition and management due to the unique treatment required with this type of blood clot. It's a very rare event. And then it goes on from there. That's the CNN.com. I'm not going to read the whole article. Y'all can go back. Let me say this. The majority of medicine on the market has these side effects and these adverse reactions. But of course, because it's on the hot seat, because it's a front page situation, because of where we are with COVID and everything, because there are a lot of people that already didn't trust the vaccine. Of course, this is going to make news. And of course, the CDC is going to shut it down out in an abundance of caution. But this is what I need y'all to go back and remember. Think about every medicine commercial you've ever seen, and you hear the side effects. In order for them to know that these are side effects to the medicine, that means that they've seen those side effects happen in clinical trials. So when you hear side effects, suicidal thoughts, that means somebody taking that particular medicine has some suicidal thoughts. When you hear side effects, I done heard side effects, death. I said, well, hell, ain't no need me taking that medicine. If the side effect is death, I might as well just go and deal with whatever the hell is wrong with me, right? Listen, everybody still has to do what they feel like they have to do and still do what they feel comfortable with. If you don't want to get the vaccine, don't get the damn vaccine. I am not about to make nobody get the vaccine. I ain't about to sit here and tell somebody to do it or not do it. And, my feelings, I will keep out of this conversation. But what I will say is, please, let's not sound the alarms that what is happening here is so, oh my gosh. Most medicines have side effects, and they don't all work for everybody. And yes, a lot of this seems like it's very rushed. And yes, there are some, hey, Amber, there are some real reasons for people to have caution. But at the end of the day, don't let this be the reason that now you like, just do your research, you guys. And when I say research, I mean real research. I don't mean just go to YouTube and look up some videos. Do some real research. Talk to some scientists if you have any scientists in your family, or you know anybody that's in the medical field or whatever. Do the research for yourself. But the only reason why they are shutting this down is because of the high profile spotlight on these vaccines. Please let me tell you and understand what I'm telling you, that the side effects for any medicine on the market, if the side effects were less than 1% of 1% of 1% of the dosages that they were giving out, child, we would never hear about it. They would never shut it down, and we would never hear about it. Exactly. P said even herbal supplements got side effects. I mean, and everything ain't for everybody. There's some stuff that could be just as organic and just as from Mother Earth, and it could make me sick. For the next person, it might work fine. My friend who is a doctor said the clotting could be non-related as well because it's so rare. It just happened that they all had the same vaccine. Absolutely. Exactly, Belize. No IG meme research either. No, ma'am. That's not going to work. Exactly, Tracy. And you know what? Again, here's my problem. I have absolutely no problem with people who choose to take it or who don't choose to take it. My problem is people who judge one way or the other. Don't judge me for my decision, because I can only be responsible for my decision. Just like you can only be responsible for your decision. I have a problem when people judge others who have made a decision to take or not take the vaccine. It's your business. It's your business. They said that with all the vaccines that's going on, hopefully we will have herd immunity, very soon, probably by the end of the summer. That's the last I heard. So it is an individual decision. That is my opinion, that it is an individual decision. And even if my reason for not taking the vaccine might sound ridiculous and far-fetched and stupid to you, it's still my decision. But I don't want people to get alarmed and jump on. I know you do, El Teddy. I know you do. I just don't want, but what I don't want is for us to get so caught up and get alarmed that we're running with information out of context. Because again, in context, it's not that alarming. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's very alarming for those women. I'm not saying that. But it's not. Like 6 women out of 6.8 million doses. But they did say, so please visit the CDC website, find out what the, if you did get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, please find out what you should be looking for, what symptoms you should be looking for. Please be mindful. And they said that you should be very, very cautious for the 2 weeks after you've had the vaccine, since I guess that's the window that they see these things happening. I will say this, clots are nothing to play with. I have a friend who died of blood clots. And I mean, they're the silent killer. A few months ago, I don't think you guys knew how serious. I told you guys my mom got sick, but I don't think I shared how serious it was. Actually, I think I only shared it on the members only. I think I only said it on the members only live. Actually, I don't even think I told everybody. But back in January, my mom had blood clots in her legs, and then she almost died. I mean, the doctors told her, had she not come to the hospital when she did, it could have been a different conversation. And so blood clots are nothing to play with. They're nothing to take lightly. So please, if you have taken the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, please visit the website and find out what symptoms you should be looking for. And immediately, if you feel anything, immediately, please go to the hospital. Not urgent care. Go to the hospital and let them know you've taken the Johnson & Johnson's vaccine and you've seen these symptoms. And I promise you, they'll take you right back and they'll deal with you accordingly. They'll probably immediately give you some blood thinners and run tests. All right. The most I've gotten from the vax so far is a sore arm. I had to ice it overnight to raise it above, and to be able to raise it above my head. Yeah. And those women may have other contributing health issues as well. Exactly. My ex-colleague almost died of class 2. Yeah. And they're silent. When I was in the hospital, I got blood clots. And when I went to my physical therapy, my leg was just really sore. I couldn't put a lot of pressure on it, and my leg was really, really sore. Now, mind you, they had me on blood thinners because for those who know, y'all know I wasn't walking. And so I was in the process of learning how to walk again. And so my legs were very stagnant. And at night, they would put those things on my legs that would like massage my legs or whatever. They would put them on my legs at night. And they actually had me on blood thinners. But I was complaining to my doctor. When my doctor came to check on me, I was telling her my leg was really sore. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't remember hitting it or doing anything. She immediately sent me down to get, I guess, an MRI. And I had clots. And what we found out is that particular blood thinner doesn't work for me. That doesn't mean that all blood thinners are wrong or that all blood thinners are bad. It means that particular blood thinner, and so now it's in my medical record, God forbid I ever have to be put on blood thinner again, that blood thinner don't work on me because I still had clots. Sometimes the blood thinners will cause clots. I had a reaction to a particular clot thinner. Okay, see, and sometimes it does the opposite of what it's supposed to do. That's what medicine is, you guys. There is no exact science. If there was an exact science, they would have the cure for everything by now, because as many scientists as they have working on cures for stuff, if everything worked for everybody and if we were a one-stop shop, then everything would just be an easy, here's the pill to fix everything for whatever, you know. We're just not made up that way. And sometimes it's a lot of it is hit or miss, you know. I mean, I'm not trying to sound blasé about it, but well, since we're talking about the CDC, let's talk about this. And I know this, I wish I could see El Teddy's face when I read this particular article, because I'm sure that he is about to roll his eyes. I am sure that he is about to roll his eyes. Hold on. Now I can't find it. Oh, here it is right here. The CDC declares racism a threat that affects the health of our entire nation. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention is officially joining the conversation on race and equality. Last week, the agency released a statement declaring racism as a serious public health threat, according to their official site. The statement also highlighted that communities of color have left the force of COVID-19 have felt, have felt the force of COVID-19 most severely given the disproportionate case counts and deaths, among other factors. Racism is not just a discrimination against one group based on the color of their skin or their race, but the structural barriers that impact racial and ethnic groups differently to influence where a person can go and seek medical care. And what's funny is the first comment that I see underneath is from Alaska, who for those who don't know, Alaska is a drag queen. She was on RuPaul's Drag Race. She said, "I hope they get the vaccine for that fast tracked." Now, I will say this. What I can appreciate, what the hell? What I can appreciate is that they're making the connection, not just about, okay, racism, but they're making the connection between how we're discriminated against health-wise. Now, I know that we have heard throughout I love how I'm sorry, from the beginning of this, we have said that the exactly, El Teddy, that there's a disproportionate connection between COVID cases and how we're being treated and the amount of COVID cases and how it affected minority communities and the Black community disproportionately. And so what I can say is that even though for all of us, like somebody just said in the chat, now you're going to tell us water is wet, but what I can appreciate is that the CDC making this grand proclamation saying, listen, this ain't no fake shit. This ain't no bullshit. There's a direct connection. And that is when we talk about racism, we're not just talking about somebody walking up to you on the street calling you a nigga. Like, that ain't what we're talking about. When we talk about microaggressions, when we talk about systematic racism, that's the stuff that we're talking about. And so when I go back to this summer, when they kept giving us shit that we didn't ask for, and I kept saying we didn't ask for that. We didn't ask for the Band-Aids to be 20 different shades of brown, even though for some people that may have been a comfort to them. That's not what the fuck we be marching for. That's not what we asked for. We're talking about the systematic racism that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. We're talking about food deserts. We're talking about the fact that you go into a Black neighborhood and you can't find a hospital, or if it's a hospital there, it's the worst hospital in the city. We're talking about the fact that you go into a Black neighborhood, you can't find an organic restaurant or a vegan restaurant or organic market unless it's being gentrified. Then all of a sudden, here comes Trader Joe's. Okay? That's the stuff that we're talking about. And so for that, yes, for all of us right now, we're like, duh. But what I can say is that I appreciate that we're now making, when I say we, not us, I ain't talking about us, but that the connections are being shown for everybody to see how all that shit is linked. Does that make sense what I'm saying, y'all? Yep, that's what affects us the most. I've been through it more than I can count. I've been working on this BS for a while. They finally made it so white racists don't have to pay out of pocket for therapy. What? Say what? 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 Go to the doctor, say you're in pain, and it's dismissed. Well, not only is it dismissed, but going to the doctor is a problem. How about that? How about that? going to the doctor. Look at how hard they fought against us having any form of universal health care. Any form. People can talk shit all they want about Obamacare, but at the end of the day, it's better than what we had before. It may not be perfect, it may not be the best, but damn it, it's better than what we had before. And I know for a fact that I have a lot of friends who, had it not been for the Affordable Health Care Act, they would have had nothing. It may not have been great. It may not have been all that it could have been, but it was better than nothing, which is what we had before. That is all connected. Breaking the system is what it takes to start fixing the problem, and this country won't even entertain that, much less dream of doing that. Okay. A high mortality, the high mortality rates of Black women during pregnancy. Not even just Black women during pregnancy, just period. Like when a woman, I remember reading an article, and it's not just with pregnancy, but Black women, period. The connection between the miss or the non-diagnosis of Black women with major medical health issues is because so much of their issue gets dismissed. Do you know, every time I go to the doctor, I'm not going to say every time now because I've got some pretty good doctors now, but when I was younger, I'm going to say I was younger. Every time I went to the doctor and I complained about something, y'all know the first thing out their mouth was, well, if you lose some weight. And when I was younger, I didn't have the voice. I heard it and I was like, okay, I'll lose some weight. Okay. But obviously I got older and I was like, so here's my question. If I lose 50 pounds, hell, 100 pounds, is this going to go away? And when the doctor would say, well, no, there's no guarantee, I said, okay, well, then let's take my weight off the table and let's get back to what I just told you. Because if you can't guarantee me that losing 100 pounds is going to eliminate this problem, then the problem is still here, and that's what we need to deal with. I had a doctor, my OBGYN, and this might be giving y'all a little bit too much of my business, but I'm going to tell y'all because I think we need to do this. I think we need to talk more and we need to share more so that we can be in a better situation. But I have always had issues with my menstrual and everything. Going back to high school, I was even late getting my menstrual to the point where, people was looking at me crazy, side eye, like, what? I was like, what? Like, everybody y'all know, as girls, every girl in here know that that's the first conversation. We as young ladies, we always want to talk about who's developing, who got a bra and what size bra they got and who started their menstrual cycle. That's the conversation that young girls have. We talk about it. And I always had issues with my menstrual cycle. Always. Either it was bad to the point where I was on birth control in high school because, of course, that's the only solution they seem to have to regulate my period was to put me on birth control. So I'm on birth control in high school, not for any other reason, but because of that, right? By the time I graduated from college, I had been on, and I'm not exaggerating, y'all, because my body would get used to the pill, and then my doctor would have to prescribe me a different birth control pill, and that would work for a year and a half, and then I'd be right back where I started. The last time my doctor prescribed birth control pills for me. You know how you go into the doctor's office, the ladies know. You go into your OBGYN's office and there's a poster of all the different types of birth control pills, like all the different, brands of birth control pills. Literally, my doctor just looked at the poster and was like, okay, so which one haven't you been on yet? By the time I graduated from college, now this started in high school. By the time I graduated from college, the doctor just was like, which one haven't you been on yet? Okay. I had all kinds of sonograms. I had MRIs. I mean, not MRIs, Lord. I had DNCs. I'm not going to get into the graphics of why I had DNCs, but I had all kinds of I had 3 DNCs. For those of y'all know what a DNC is, you understand what I'm saying. I had sonograms. They could never figure out what the problem was. Never, ever, ever figure out what the problem was. I went to all kinds of specialists, people who were, you know, they were supposed to be so good at what they did. I went to all kinds of specialists. I was in North Carolina. I went to people that went to Duke Medical School and all kinds of stuff. Black women, white men. Okay. I did it all. Okay. And, I mean, this went on for years. I mean, years. Again, I'm not going to get into all of the details, but years. Even to the point where doctors told me, you probably not going to, when you're ready to have children, it's going to be hard for you to conceive. It's going to be hard for you to carry. Like all of that stuff, right? My whole life had these issues, my whole life. Finally, my cousin, who I guess it runs in the family, my cousin had a lot of issues as well. And she loved her OBGYN. She said, you got to go to my doctor. So she got me an appointment because he don't even take new patients, but she got me an appointment. I went to see him and we tried some stuff, right? We tried some stuff. Nothing worked. And so finally said, listen, I do this as a last resort, especially for someone as young as you. But I ended up having to have a partial hysterectomy, right? And the one thing he said that stuck with me, he said, and this was a black man, okay? He said, I wish you had come to me sooner because this was preventable. I wish you had come to me sooner because this was preventable. But it's not that I didn't go to other doctors. It's not that I didn't ask the questions. It's not that I didn't do all of the different stuff. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he finally saw, or at least he thought he did, saw something that I guess other people didn't see. And so the reality of the situation is, and I'm saying all that to y'all to say, it's not just in areas of pregnancy. They said that the reason why Black women are misdiagnosed so often is because so much stuff just gets dismissed. HIV, cancer. But when a man walks in and complains about certain things, it's just taken so much more seriously than when a woman comes in. And it's not, I mean, Black women obviously are going to always be at the bottom of that totem pole, but it's women in general. It's not just Black women, but of course, like I said, Black women are going to be at the bottom of the totem pole, but it's women because we are always dismissed. We are so often dismissed. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's connected back. I mean, again, we talked about this before. Serena Williams almost died in child labor. She's telling them she's in pain. And this is a woman who has played championship tennis matches on sprained ankles. And like, this is a woman who knows how to take pain. And she's telling you something is wrong. This doesn't feel right. And had she not been Serena Williams, she'd be dead. She'd be dead. You figure with all the birth control killed your reproductive system. I mean, I don't know. I mean, well, actually, I stopped taking. I gave my body I stopped taking birth control in my late 20s. So I came up off of it in my late 20s because I said the same thing. I was like, this is crazy. And I mean, again, to be perfectly transparent, at the time, I wasn't seeing anybody. I didn't have a boyfriend at the time. And I was like, I just need to give my body a break. Like, I've been on birth control for 10 years. I've been on birth control since high school. And I stopped taking birth control. And I never went back. I never went back to taking the pills. I was just very cautious about it, especially when my body kept adjusting. I was like, well, is it even working? Like, is this even going to prevent me from getting pregnant at this point? Because my body keeps adjusting to the dosages. Like, it don't work. I didn't know what it was doing. Right. Serena had blood clots as well in the past. Yep. I've been blessed with great doctors, and I'm so thankful because my 15-year-old niece found out a lump oh my gosh. Let's all say a silent prayer for Yana's niece. Oh my gosh, 15. And see, that's the other misconception. I think a lot of times we allow ourselves to get comfortable because of things that we've been told about, breast cancer. I remember, and y'all gonna laugh when I say this, I remember 90210. Remember Brenda had that lump in her breast, and they made a big deal about early detection, and you can't just assume because somebody's in their teens that they can't get breast cancer. Like anybody can get. I mean, I'm not putting breast cancer on your niece. I'm just saying get a lump. Let me leave it at that. Let me just say lump. Medical book to this day have racist assertions about your pain threshold. Listen, I just so happen to have my book here. Y'all remember a few months ago, I had pulled it out because I had started reading it again. Y'all remember a few months ago, I had my girlfriend on here that I went to college with. She's a really good friend of mine, though. Medical bondage, Dr. Deirdre Cooper Owens. She's an African-American professor at the University of Nebraska now. She was in New York for a while, but she's at Nebraska now. And she wrote this book. This was her PhD. No, it wasn't. I was going to tell a lie. Was this her PhD dissertation? No, she was already a PhD when she wrote this. This was not her PhD dissertation. But this race, gender, and the origins of American gynecology. And this goes back to slavery. And she talks about the slave owners who would perform these experiments on Black women and created a lot of these false narratives about Black women and their pain threshold. Because for whatever reason, Black women have a different pain threshold. I'm being facetious. I know they don't. Here it is right here. One of my mods, if y'all could drop the link to the Amazon, it's on Amazon. You can find it on Amazon, and that's it right there. Deirdre Cooper Owens. And if you go back in my archives, I would have to go and find the link for you, P. You could go back in my archives and find the interview that I did with her. I'm gonna try to find the link. I gotta remember what playlist I put it under. Do I have an interview playlist? I might have an interview playlist. And if I have an interview playlist, then it's in my interview playlist. If not, it's going to be under my tribe meetings because we did it here. But check out her book. And again, it's an easy read. It's a very easy read. Because she's not a doctor. She's a PhD. She's not a medical doctor. So it doesn't get into the technical, it's not technical like that. So it's an easy read. And again, it goes back to slavery, and it talks about the slave owners and their y'all know what I'm saying. It talks about there's a statue. They called him the father of gynecology. His name escapes me right now, but he's in here as well. And she was a big part of the movement to take his statue down because of all of the experiments that he did on Black women. Yeah, one of my mods is going to drop the link. So y'all can go right on over to Amazon and check it out. And maybe I'll have her on here again. We can have a part 2 of the conversation. But yeah, it's a really good book, and it's an easy read. It's a very, very easy read. You see, it's not thick. It's not a very thick book. It's a very easy read. And like I said, I have it sitting here because I actually pulled it out because I wanted to look something up that I remembered reading in here. And I was actually looking something up the other day. There it is right there. Little baby just dropped the link. Y'all go check it out. Right. And that's when I had her on here, El Teddy. So that'll help because if I need to find it, I can go by the date. That's part of why I invited her on here because she was mentioned. So Lovecraft Country, they have a podcast. They have a podcast. If you watch the show, there's a podcast, and they would kind of give you like behind the scenes information, and they would tell you where they got a lot of their information from. She was mentioned on the podcast. Her book is a book that they used the writers used her book for that episode of Lovecraft Country where they talked about the experiments, and they mentioned her by name, specifically by name in the podcast. And that's what made me be like, oh, shoot, because it was when Lovecraft Country was on. And even though I didn't review Lovecraft Country, I watched it and we would talk about it here. So thank you, El Teddy. That helps me when I go to look for it. If nothing else, I could try to look for it for the dates. If I can't find it on a playlist, then I can go back to the dates and it'll help me narrow down where it might be if it's not in a play. It should be in a playlist, but if I can't find it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's the link to the interview. Damn it. I know that's right. Wait a minute. You said that's the link to my interview. I see the link to the book. Where's the link to the interview? Y'all know sometimes on StreamYard, the link, the chat doesn't roll correctly. But Jessica said that's the link to the interview, but I don't see the link. Anyway, we'll find it. If we don't find it before the end of this live, because I'm going to get off here in a few minutes, we're going to find it. I got one more story to talk about. And we're going to find it. But this is the book again. The link for the book is in the chat. And the interview, we will get y'all the link for the interview. But it was a good interview. And I don't mean good like I'm being arrogant. I mean good like she shared a lot of great information. And again, she's a really good friend of mine. Matter of fact, I'm supposed to be going to Nebraska to see her because when she took the job, it was a promotion for her. She was working in New York. She was teaching at a college in New York, I think Queens College in New York. And it was a promotion when she took the job. And I remember her saying we were at alumni weekend at Bennett that year. And we had gone out to dinner. And she was like, ain't nobody going to come visit me in Nebraska. And I was like, girl, I'll come to Nebraska. I mean, y'all know I love to travel, okay? I said, I'll come to Nebraska and see you, girl. I don't have no problems with that. I'm going to come to Nebraska. And, of course, COVID hit. I ain't been to Nebraska. And I said, listen, I know I owe you a trip because I told you that I was going to come to Nebraska to visit you. So maybe this summer I'll get me a ticket and I'll go out there and spend a couple of days with her. She's bought a home. She bought a really nice, a beautiful house from the pictures. A really nice house out there in Nebraska. Of course, coming from New York, she was like, girl, I mean, the size of my house and the property and all of that for what I would have got in New York for these prices. And her husband is now a full-time student. She has been able to, because of course she gets the discount for him to go to school in Nebraska, but now he's getting his PhD. So I thought that was nice. Is that the link right there? Thank you, El Teddy. I love y'all. Mwah. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all. That's the link. El Teddy went up into the archives and found the link for me. Thank you so much, El Teddy. Thank you, little baby, for getting the book. See how our conversations be going left sometimes, child? Our conversations be going left. Oh, thank you to Button Jessica. Thank you, Button Jessica. I saw her saying that's the link, but I never saw the link pop up. So thank you, Button Jessica, El Teddy. Thank you to my mod squad. My mod squad. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate that. I do. But it was a good interview. P, definitely go check it out, P, when you get a chance. Just put it on your watch list, and when you riding around, you can pick it up. But it was a really good interview where we talked about the origin of her book, but we also got into, where we are today in women's health, and things of that nature. So it was a good conversation. It was a good conversation. All right. So, and when I go to Nebraska, maybe I'll do a face-to-face interview, a little part 2 backup. All right. So this is the last story, and we're going to end it on a good note, on a fun note. Oh, thank you, Button Jessica. I see where she put it. Thank you, Button Jessica. Thank you, Boo. I appreciate you so much. All right, so Button Jessica might mess around and get a promotion over this side, honey. She might get a promotion, honey. But anyway, so Uber, the CEO of Uber, said that Uber drivers might start delivering weed. Just like you can get your Uber Eats, I guess you can get your Uber Green, honey. You can get your Uber edibles. You can get your Uber weed. And I'm sure this is going to be places where weed is legal. I'm sure they're going to have to put certain things in place where you already have an established account with this particular dispensary and they have verified or whatever. Well, no, if it's legal, they ain't got to verify shit. But the CEO of Uber said that the Ubers may be getting into the weed business, honey. I ain't mad about it. I ain't mad about it at all. If it's legal and you can drive and go pick it up, why they can't deliver it to you? I mean, the regular weed man deliver. The regular weed man deliver. Why the Uber man can't deliver? Child, I said, well, listen, and I don't even smoke weed. So I ain't got no dog in that fight, but I just think it's nice. We already have well, I'm sure places where it's legal, you have delivery services. But Uber say that the Uber Eats is about to get into it. And that's probably why they about to get into it. Because they said, listen, it's a lot of money on the floor. There's a lot of money on the floor. If weed is legal, it's a lot of money on the floor. Lord, I gotta take that some in that refrigerator. I know what it is. I know what's in that. I know what's smelling in that refrigerator. I gotta take it out when I leave here in the morning. I know what's smelling. I know exactly what it is. I messed around and I had taken some meat out to cook, and I forgot, and I never cooked it, and it went bad. It's in the refrigerator, and then it went bad. So every time you open the refrigerator door now, you just get a woof. Well, you know if Uber do it, Lyft gonna do it, child. You know if Uber do it, Lyft gonna do it. Everybody sells everything these days. Why am I just realizing Target sells adult toys? Target sell adult toys. Is it on the website or there's like a section down to the Target? I'm asking for a friend. I'm just saying. In DC, weed is legal, so having it delivered sounds good. Is weed legal in DC? I know they had decriminalized it. I didn't realize it was legal because I know people who have like a medical marijuana card, and I know they had decriminalized it, but I didn't know they had just gone all the way through and just said, "Fuck it, it's legal." That's to let y'all know right there that I don't smoke because I'm from DC. I'm right here in DC, and I ain't know that. That let you know right here that I don't be smoking. Did I tell y'all about the time my niece got me high? No, it hasn't been legal in DC. It's been decriminalized in DC. It was medical marijuana in DC, but it has not been legal that long in DC. A lot of people thought that decriminalization is the equivalent, and it's not. Decriminalized is not the same as legal. I had to tell my students that because they was like, "Oh, we can smoke." No, it's not the same. You just fixed two different ways. Yeah. And I thought I had put that meat back in the freezer because I really thought I had put it back in the freezer, but clearly I didn't. And I just realized what it was. So she must not be paying me no mind because I was waiting for her to say something, but is that the next members only? You know what? That could be a members only. That'd be a fun members only story to tell. But Niecy, you remember the time you got me high? She said, "I do." See, she remembered the time. I was waiting for her to say something. The time she got me and her mama high. She sure did. Uber getting in before they legalize it across the nation. Child. But yeah. We went, my nephew was living in Washington. And so when we went to Washington, hold on. Hold on. And so she got there the day before me, or earlier in the day. No, they got there earlier in the day. And they went and got some edibles, child. They went and got some edibles. And yeah, I came to Washington to visit my nephew. He's in the military. He was stationed up there. And so his wife was graduating. And we had never met his wife. And his wife was graduating. And so we use that as Because that's not right, El Teddy. I'm gonna finish telling my story and then I'm gonna get back to you, sir. So I live here. You're gonna tell me, but okay. So she got there earlier. So so she was graduating, she was getting her master's degree. And so we sort of use that as like a let's all get together. We hadn't, I hadn't seen him in a long time. And I had never met his wife. And so we went out there to Washington. We went to her graduation. And so they had gone to the dispensary and got some edibles, child. And I had that was my first time eating edibles, right? And so I was thinking it didn't feel nothing. I ate the one edible and I was like, I don't feel nothing. So I ate a second one. Everything was funny for the rest of the night. Everything was funny for the rest of the night. Me, my sister-in-law, and my niece was giggling the rest of the night, okay? It was absolutely hilarious. Now, let me get to this with El Teddy, and then I'll be done, and I'm going to get off of here. In 2015, the legalization of possession of minimal amounts of marijuana for personal use act of 2014 became legal in DC. That is the decriminalization act, meaning you could have marijuana for personal use. If you got caught with less than whatever ounce, not ounce, whatever the minimal amount is, if you just got caught with like a blunt, if you were standing out in front of your house smoking weed, the police couldn't say nothing to you, and you were allowed to grow, I think, 2 marijuana plants. That was not the same as weed being legal in DC. There were no dispensaries. There was medical marijuana use. But El Teddy, that's not my point. You just want to be right and you're not listening to what I'm saying. There's a difference between what they did in 2014, 2015 with the decriminalization versus what we see in Los Angeles and Washington State and all of that. Like in DC, you still could not walk into a dispensary and just go buy weed and go buy edibles. That's not what it was. You still need a medical marijuana card. And so that's not the same. That's the point that I'm making. And so when I forgot who it was early on said weed is legal in DC, I was like, oh, is that what it is? So the difference is what I'm talking about with weed being legal is in DC, you still couldn't walk into a dispensary and just go buy yourself a bunch of party favors because you had some people coming over to the house. You still needed a medical marijuana card to walk into a dispensary in DC to get weed. Now, if you got your own weed, the police were no longer going to clog up the courts because they caught you smoking a blunt. They were no longer going to clog up the courts because they pulled you over and your car smelled like weed. They weren't going to do that. So they decriminalized it for small amounts. If you still got caught with 5 ounces of weed in your trunk in DC, you were still going to jail. That's the point that I'm making. It wasn't legal. If you had personal use in your car, you were good. If they caught your ass with a trunk full of damn weed, you were still going to jail. That's the point that I'm making. That's the difference between it being legal and decriminalizing it. What they did in 2014 was decriminal. Well, the law was passed in November 2014. They decriminalized it. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all understand the difference of what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. You understand the difference, El Teddy, of what I'm saying? I'm waiting you don't understand the difference between what I just said. Okay. You do understand. You don't want to understand. You're too intelligent for you not to understand what I just said. You're too intelligent. You just don't want to. But it's okay. Belize, when you cut up all the time when I'm in the book, child, Belize is a mess. In DC, you purchase weed through an app and it is recorded as a donation to an organization. You get a receipt and everything. So Miss Sharon 22, that's what I'm asking. Is that because I know back in 2015, and the reason why is because a friend of mine was trying to do a co-op. He was trying to create a co-op where everybody could grow their, like you could grow up to 2 plants per person. So he was trying to create a co-op where we could all plant our 2 plants in one central area and share the weed, because you couldn't do it. The other thing was you couldn't sell it. You could grow your own plants in your backyard, but you couldn't sell it. So I could have 2 weed plants on my back porch for my own personal use, but I couldn't, grow 20 plants and sell the weed. It was still illegal. Now, again, fast forward to 2021, they may have changed the laws, added, subtracted, tweaked it, whatever. And that's what we're talking about now. But what I'm going back to my original question was, when did that change? That was my original question, was when did that change? So you can purchase weed through the app and it's recorded as a donation. Right. Again, right, Miss Sharon, because it's still illegal to sell it. So you can make a donation, but you still can't buy it without a medical license, without having a medical marijuana license. That's all I'm saying. And I don't smoke weed, so I don't know. That's all I'm saying. Just like here in Detroit, they legalized marijuana, but you can only have a minimal amount. Because if something is legal, for example, alcohol is legal. I can go to the liquor store and buy 50 bottles of alcohol if I'm having a party, and I can buy as much of it as I can afford. I can drive around with it in my trunk. I ain't got to worry about getting pulled over. And if the police pull me over and pop my trunk and they see 50 bottles of liquor, as long as the bottles ain't open and my breath don't smell like alcohol, it's good. I'm over 21. I can buy as much liquor as I want. That's not what they were saying when they decriminalized it in DC. Personal use, yes. Enough for you to sell, no. And that's not legal. That's not saying you legalize something. If you say, oh, well, you can only have this amount, you can't have that amount, because that amount you still going to jail. So now it is legal then. So then that makes it legal now, because I know, and this was as recently as about 4 years ago, you still had to have a medical marijuana card to go into the dispensaries and buy weed. You still had to have a card. So now you don't need one anymore. Then it's legal now. It still goes back to my original question. Because that wasn't when it originally in 2015, that wasn't originally. I know, listen, I'm telling y'all, I got enough weed heads around me. I know. And I know you still had to get the medical marijuana card. Now, was it hard to get a medical marijuana card? No, absolutely not. You could buy a medical marijuana card. Like doctors was selling them out the back door. But you still had to have one. I call it fake legal. You go in these stores, you're buying other things, and the weed is a gift. Right. Exactly. It's not, whatever, El Teddy. It's not legal. I ain't about to sit here and keep arguing with you. Queen Sugar about to come on, child. Anyway, they sell edibles too. Because I know they got them all in Maryland now. I know they got them. But I also know that when that law first passed in 2015, all of that was not, you couldn't do all of that. You couldn't do all of that. Avon is legal in all 50 states. Thank you, little baby, because we can wrap it on up here. Wrap it on up. Because as a matter of fact, anyway, yeah, I know Queen Sugar's on. Coming to DC soon, right? So y'all, the link is there. Little baby dropped the link. Y'all check out that Avon. The Skin So Soft is still on sale. Remember, they got the bundle sale. Yeah, I think in Maryland you still need a card. You can bundle it up, get you the oil and the shower gel, and bundle it on up. And that is that on that. I will see y'all on the other side. Thank you for the Cash App tally. I appreciate it much. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.